viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Got a 2020 Chevrolet. It's a GMC, really. Chevrolet sounds better though. It's got the big 6.6. Customer said he had a noise in the right front wheel area, particularly up hills under load. So I started up, took it for a little rip there this morning, and exhaust manifold's leaking like crazy. I assume that's what he's hearing. I spoke with him on the phone. That sounded like we're all on the same page. Can't really hear idling, but under load, it's pretty obvious that the manifold starts ticking, and then it goes from a tick to like a rattly sound to like a chirp, and then it gets quiet. As soon as it warms up. Looked underneath it. Looks like it's got a broken bolt in the back. I don't know if it's broke off flush or not. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's sticking out a little. Don't know if the manifold's any good. Don't really know much of anything. I do know we need to take the wheel off at this point. He wants it fixed regardless what it is, whether we need a manifold or just, gasket, new bolts. So we're gonna pull the wheel, we're gonna pull the fender liner out, and we're gonna have a look and see what's going on in there. That's it. Going home. No, what we're doing, we're breaking out this little guy, half-size sockets. Breaking out the 22.5. Astro Tools makes those. Probably had a sticker, but now it just has some writing on it. Little 4-piece set. Get sick of the swollen chrome. There, that was easy. Holy crap, biscuit! That was easy. We got her open. Lucky for us, she's not broke flush. Well, no, it's locked. Because we don't have that piece out yet. It can still be a miserable son of a mother. Try to get these bad boys spinning. See if I can get us some pliers here. She got a $1.60 on it. It's pretty high mileage. So you can see where the manifold's been leaking there and smoking the wire. Now I'm gonna just go yank on these things, try to get them to spin first, if you can. Come on, straighten out there. There we go. Get her up in straight mode here. Yeah. I don't know if it's ever had plugs put in it or not. It's not here for that, so there we go. You can kind of hear them when they crack loose. And it's my suggestion when you're doing manifolds on these is to leave the plugs in there. Be careful, you get that manifold loose, you can come down and smack them. You might end up buying the customer plugs. Alright, there's that. Let's see. There's still a little bit of warmth in this. Not terrible. Let's see if the rest of these bolts want to crack loose. There's 5 total. Let's grab a 13, it looks like. We'll grab us an extension. Grab a little ratchet here. Oh, I don't know why. I mean, that one's turning, but that seemed to turn almost too easy, almost like it's broke. That one's turning way too easy. Maybe we've hit the benchmark of the perfect temperature. Spoke too soon. Yeah, I think we're gonna throw a little heat on those. Those two, that's kind of sus. I just use the word sus. We'll get out the little 3/8 Uggy Duggy. 12-inch extension, 13 mil. We're gonna put her in semi-wuss bag mode 2. Oh no, she's whole. She came out all the way. I don't like the feel of that one. You motherfucker. I told you that one wasn't feeling it. The second I touched that sucker, I knew that turned way too dang easy. So that one was already broke, just sitting in the hole. And that sucker, she's broke way off down inside there. That's awesome. I knew it though. I knew the second I even touched it. Like that felt not good. Okay, let's throw a little heat on those. Probably should get the what the frig did you do this time, Chevrolet? Frickin' junk. I have a heat shield right smack in the middle of let's try to get those loose. I've had pretty good luck doing this, just heating up the head, which seems really counterintuitive to what one would think. It either works or it just gives me a little more courage. But I've had real good luck on this with the Chevrolets, on the older ones. Never done a 6.6, this is my first time. First time on a 6.6. Still had her in wuss bag mode. Whew, we'll let that one settle for a minute. Had to go find that bolt before I hit the stupid level. Like fall down, hit a harness or something. You never know. But I found it. It was just laying on the control arm down there. You never want things to get to the stupid level. That one didn't feel super great either. Came out way too easy. Even though we're using the Uggy Duggy. You can always tell. But maybe it just zippies after right out. We know not to reach up there and touch it. Yep. Son of a frig hole. Not cool, man. This is a super not cool job now. I was coming into this with a good attitude. Now I'm just gonna have some fun. And honestly, folks, that has nothing to do with using the Uggy Duggy. That gun doesn't have enough power to just shear a bolt that quickly. Those bolts are already done lost all their holding power. So before you get after it, trust me, I fixed a lot of broken bolts. I've broke a lot of bolts. I know the powers of my guns. Not these guns, the Uggy Duggy guns. And you know, I'm not gonna sit here like a ding dong and just freaking let her whack until she snaps them off. So just like you could tell with the first one there that something wasn't right. Let me get this manifold out the rest of the way. Like I said, GM was kind enough to put a heat shield here which blocks off the one nut. I'm gonna see if we can just wrench that one off. That would be the best, most ideal situation. Maybe we'll stick one bolt back in it if we can. Should have left one in it, because now we've got our work cut out for us. Not cool. What do we got? Like three broken bolts? Something like that. We're just gonna I'm just gonna leave that hanging like that for right now. Oh, no, it's just right. I just tried it before without heating it. Oh. Because I had it in wuss bag mode. So that one's off. That one's off. Now we gotta get the one behind the shield. I'm gonna let that one cool down. I got her cracked loose now. I gotta put a drive shaft in the guy's truck. Oops, sorry buddy. I'm gonna pull that in. Do the drive shaft, let that cool down, then we'll ratchet wrench it off. Never stick your ratchet wrench on a hot nut or fastener of any sort. It ruins them instantly. Every brand. I think it heats up the little spring in there and dang it! I didn't want to deal with all them. I was hoping just for one. We're gonna come in, we're gonna joke, it's gonna be fun. Here we are. Things ain't good out here, Mrs. O.
Uh-oh.
They ain't good.
What's that good?
Well,
What did you do?
you ever have like a 5-minute job that turns into like an all-day ordeal?
Oh no.
Frick!
Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. The people think, oh, I went through and broke all the bolts because of the big ass hurry using your impact. Should have sprayed it. That's what they're saying down there right now. I can see it typing.
Are they right?
No, I had one broken bolt, and then the first one I touched, I'm like, I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. And then turned a little bit, it's broke, and then the front one's already sheared off. Heated it up, touch it with the Uggy Duggy gun.
You were just gonna do this job real quickly?
Yeah, just gonna bang it out. We're over here, we're making jokes. We're like, hee hee ha ha, look at us, I'm having
Not funny
fun.
now, huh?
Ain't nobody laughing now, are they? So.
They might be laughing.
You're laughing?
I'm laughing because you're a funny guy.
Well, you know what happens with funny guys. Remember I told you about that. You gotta be careful. You gotta watch out for the funny guys.
I know, I married one.
Mm-hmm. Boom, next thing you know, 3 kids. Alright, I gotta change the drive shaft in this. We got one from Nissan. Doesn't have anything to do with this video. Hopefully it goes a little smoother. That's your part number in case you need one. They're made out of aluminium, and in the PRNY, they dissolve. Turn to pus. Rear U-joint's falling out of it. Back on the Chevy. Back on this project. Lucky for us, so the Chevy garage had this all in stock. It's kind of nice. I don't know if we need the manifold, but I have it all here. Well, they didn't have the gasket. They didn't have the manifold gasket. But we do have one part store that FMP Factory Motor Parts, whoever it is, they have some AC Delco stuff. And they had the gasket in stock of it a couple towns over. So we got that coming. Coming on the train. Make sure you're hanging on to your manifold at this point. You don't want to play a game of whack fudge on those plugs if you can avoid it. But these manifolds are super expensive compared to the old Chevys where, you know, you get an OEM manifold for, I don't know, $150 or something. These are like $400 and some dollars. Son of a frig hole. 1, 2, 3. Let's start with something that we might be successful at, unless we turn this one. And it breaks way down in there. I don't know. I hear the train a-coming. It's coming round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Who likes Johnny Cash, huh? Are we doing anything? That's a big negative there on the cost of this old machine. Let's get some heat. Doesn't really give me a lot of hope for the other ones that are broke off that we can't get to. God dang, boy. Oh yeah, those other ones, they are not coming out. I'll tell you that. That one's wiggling. Let's get a little Panther P to get up on there. Just give it a lot. So it's wiggling, so that's good. I can actually see the bolt turning back and forth, so maybe some Peter Blaster will get back up in there, but I don't know. Like I say, for all we know, that could be broke off just a couple threads up in there as well. Why don't we do this for some hope? There we go. Ah, shoot, I thought it was just gonna fall out. Let's pound a easy out or a twist socket over top of that. See what we can do. Maybe I could get a bigger hammer even. Hammering on it never hurts. Sometimes it can really assist you. Boy, is he turning hard. Oh, we're cooking with fire now, boys. We should have left the whole manifold assembled, welded a nut to this one, got this one out, tightened it up, pretend we didn't see anything else. Right? Harbor Freight Icon, Gen 2s, I like to call them, because 2025 we say things like that. Gen, sus. Still rocking. Heads still haven't come loose on them. Pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. Whoa, whoa! Clear. Mother frigger. What are we gonna do there, Rocco? Think, man, think. First thing we need to do is we need to learn some stuff, because chances are we're gonna be using a drill, so we want to know how many threads. And it's basically what's clean on here is we got the gasket. That's why I wanted to look. So basically the clean part of this bolt. So we need to make ourselves a measuring apparatus. We'll go 1 thread extra. That's our measuring apparatus. How different is this between this and what potentially is the bottom of the hole? So that way there, if we're drilling, you know, if you have to drill through the bolt, you'll know if you drill through if there's a hollow space or if this actually butts right up or goes right to the end of the hole. The holes look pretty short to me, and that's why I want to know. So that's my measuring device right there, huh? Pretty fancy. This will drive the machinist crazy. Not the bottom. Oh yeah, she's big time different. So there we are to the bottom. So we're probably 3 to 4 threads before she hits bottom. And that's the main thing, you know, we're not looking for a precision measurement. We just want to make sure that if we drill, we know that there is a void behind it. I'm apprehensive to use the welder. These are broke down in pretty far. You'd have to do a lot of buildup. Now it is possible. We have done it. I think we've done videos on it. When you use the welder, oftentimes you can't go to drill afterwards. I think what we'll do is, because we have a couple threads out here, and the easiest way to center these bolts is to take your bigger drill bit, take a bigger drill bit, and you know, get rid of these outside threads in case, you know, there's any booger marks on those, so it doesn't hinder you on the way out. No, using a left-hand drill bit will not just take the bolt out. I'm going to be very clear on this. I've removed not as many bolts as a machine shop, but I've done my share of manifold bolts. If a left-handed drill bit would just magically take the bolt out, the second we touch it with the right-hand bit, it'd spin it to the bottom of the hole. Or if we could use a left-hand drill bit and it would magically snag and spin it out because you live in some kind of fantasy land, you know, drilling it with a right-hand bit and putting an easy out in it will be just as effective. So, and yes, I know that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of you have used the left-hand bit and it walks it right out. I have insanely bad luck. That doesn't work. It doesn't work in real life. The practical application or the theory behind it is really good, and technically it should work. The only time I've had it work are on bolts that are loose already. So yes, it does work, but as hard as all the rest of them came out, you know none of these are going to come out easy. That's why I'm even a little apprehensive to drill, because we need to get an easy out in it that's big enough to get enough grip to where it won't break. Because you break an easy out in there, you are up the creek. And the creek that you're going to be on starts with a shush, ends with a it. And it's a creek, and you're there, you got no paddle, everything's bad. So let's get after this. Good old shush creek. We're going to come at this with 11/30 seconds initially. How's that? Is that helpful, boys? Like I say, it gets rid of those outside threads. It gives us a nice center mark on that bolt. Okay. These are from the Astro Tools, part number 9012, 1/8 stubby double-ended drill bits. Handy little bits. Don't know what they're used for in real life, but I like to use them for starting holes. They seem to be pretty dang sharp. Let's get a gauge on our levelness so we're not straight in. We're on about a 6-degree angle. This one I've used before. Either my chuck's bent or that bit's bent. Chances are it's old chuck. Let me get a different one. Of course, that package has been open, so who knows what sort of abuse it's been through. Maybe just my eyes are freaking defective. There ain't no way there's 2 in a row. I gotta let the truck down a little bit. I need to get a perfect line of sight. Says the guy who can't see. Are you perfect? I'm gonna come down just a whisper. And we'll go straight back in. Oh, you look good. I mean, real good. If you see coolant, stop. Okay? You've gone too far. You're through, baby. For sure. Come on, man. You done hit bottom, old son. Now we'll penetrate it from the inside out. Oh, I got a squirt in there. Hello. Okay, there's that. That's with a 1/8 inch now. What do we dare do? We drop her up to a 5/32. This is where, if there's hope for it to spin, it will, because this bit will snag a little bit here in the beginning. You old hole reamer. Okay, so that's 5/32. Let's see what our we need a straight flute extractor is what we need. Let's see what we have for sizes available here, and then we'll go from there. But before we do that, we'll give her another little shot of hope. All right, we have a 5/32 straight flute extractor. Hammer deep. Do not break. Please do not break. I put as much pressure on it as I want to. Let's get the extractor back out of there. I don't know what to do. You can't heat it. You can't. We'll never get it. We'll never get it hot enough in the aluminum. Mother frigger. If we keep drilling, I mean, there's, obviously, if you drill right to the edge of the threads, we would have to have that like laser beam machine straight. Let's try a little heat, but I think it won't do anything. I can't heat with my extractor in there. Yeah, it's a waste of time. You're not wasting time. What's up?
The front tier's ready?
Yep, front tier's ready.
We'll go climb the bell.
The drive shaft. In a quarter hour. Okay?
Yep.
Sound like a plan? Ain't going good here, I tell you.
Uh-oh.
I hear the creaking, but I think that is just... Oh no, crap, I think that is the bolt. That might actually be the bolt. Whoa! I thought it was just the easy out kind of cranking back and forth here. Get a little more Peter up in there, Peter Blaster. I may be wrong, it may be just the extractor. Just using a tiny little wrench on this, little 5/16 wrench. 5/16? Let's see here. Attaboy. Oh yeah. Hello. Now we get to see, did we drill through it straight with laser beam precision, or were we way off? It felt like it went pretty straight. If I was a gambling man, I'd say we poked right out the middle on the backside, but again, I've been wrong before. Let's see, probably have to get you a light. Not like I can see it. See how close we came, see if we actually need a CNC machine. No, we don't, because we drilled it right down the middle. Dead in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. My eyes are out of focus, so I can't tell if it's me or the camera, but that's that. Neat thing about these extractors. Now, I don't know who makes them. Well, I mean, they're Mac Tools labeled. I don't know who makes them IRL, because Mac Tools doesn't make anything their own. I don't think. Maybe their boxes and their wrenches, but they have a trash extractor on them. So, you know, they're basically just a, you know, a straight flute extractor, but then they've got this little piece here, so if you get it jammed in the hole, you can push yourself back out of the hole, or you can use it to push the, you know, the piece that you're extracting. So there's that, huh? Happy days. Oh, happy days. Well, we don't have happy days yet because we ain't done. You ain't done, old son. The SHTF could still happen. I think that's the sugar hits the fan. The SHTF. Yeah, that's the SHTF. Yeah, I think that's what all the preppers are worried about, right? The SHTF, the big one. When the big one hits. Are you guys, are we in frame? I can't tell. Let's hope. Here's to hoping. Same approach as the last one. Put just a little twirly mark on the front of that if you can. I think we did. Switching over to the 1/8. The light's probably too bright for you folks, but this guy has got to see, because we've got to be able to get it bang on the money, as they say. Get right up in there like your eyes can see. We'll do it by feel. How's that sound? Whoa, come on, man. Get on my... I don't know what Astro makes these frickin' bits out of, but dude, whatever they cut, you'd swear you're cutting aluminium. I mean, they're pretty insane for these little 1/8" bits. I have a bunch of packages of them, and they're wicked awesome. Let's see, we got a, what do we say, a 6-degree angle? Second guessing myself. Alright, dude, don't drive her too deep. Measure that in a good hole. I think we just hit bottom. Hopefully it's straight. The main reason you want it straight is because as the SHTF does happen, that's the sugar hits the fan. You need to make sure that, you know, if you do have to drill it out all the way, you want it straight because aluminum sucks. Yeah, we're there. I think we're there. I don't think we're gonna press the luck. We've already pressed our luck too much. I gotta know. I gots to know. I just want to make darn sure we're bottomed out. Give myself a good measurement here. To make sure we've hit bottom. Oh, we didn't. Double check your mark, Eric. Okay, just don't want to keep pushing this. There she goes. I felt the old. We're in. Okay. You're in. You're in there, Rocco. Get up in there, give her a little squirt. Oh. Now, before we try any heat, we'll try just our easy out. Of course, we don't have a frickin' MacMan anymore. It used to be what I would do. See, that's not going to fit in a 1/8 hole, okay? Because it's not meant for 1/8. What were they? 5/32? That sound familiar to anyone? What we used to do is every time I use an easy out, and you know, with success, even if it didn't break, warranty it. Get the new one. Trust me. I've spent a lot of my life cleaning up messes. Most of my own. Some of other people's. You start pissing around with easy outs. Oh yeah, I felt that breakthrough. Break on to the other side. Back out. I'm no Jim Morrison, but yeah, you start frigging around with easy outs too much. Next thing you know, you're digging out the rescue bits. And if you ever walk into the shop and I got out a rescue bit, quietly turn around and leave. No, not really. I use them. They work well, but they're a one-time use and they cost about 40 bucks a whack. Given that, the left-handed handy not working too good. Can anybody see? You guys can't see, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I gotta put that back there. Sorry. I'm sorry, fellas. I've got a sneaking suspicion I didn't drill this one as well. I believe we're going to be coming out a little bit more towards the edge, a little high on the bolt. Well, we don't want to lose the grip. Let's take and extract it here. I don't like it. We're going to try the heat method, whether that actually works or it gets some of the Peter Blaster in there or something. Maybe it gives us a little more courage pull a little harder on this wrench. That could be it as well. The theory behind it is, well, not really what we would think, you know. Okay, we gotta start over. The customer walk in. I don't know if we mentioned it, but some folks are asking why we don't heat it with the Easy Out in there. Easy Outs do not like heat. They don't really like much of anything. They're just this side of brittle. Come on. Boy, I'm putting a lot of pressure on that. Oh, we got a little bit, melted that a little bit. Boy. Oh, you mother frigger. Oh, ooh, baby. Yes. Okay. So I just turned it to try to tighten it. Flexing it just about as hard as I wanted to. Turning it, trying to tighten it, and it went in a little bit. Okay, got some Peter Blaster up in there. You guys can't see crap. What a great tutorial, huh? This guy. If you get her to crack loose, that's all you need. Let me move you. Get the old Peter Blaster working up in there. Huh, that felt weird. That felt weird. You get weird on me now, man. Yeah, I can see the bolt turning. This is not just the Easy Out slipping inside the bolt. Although it does feel like it's losing its grip. Yeah, we just lost its grip. It's because we were pushing a tad too hard. Okay, we don't want to chance it. Yeah, we're as deep as we can go. Let me see what I have for other Easy Outs, because I think the next size with this set's gonna be a little too big. Let me see if I got a different straight flute. So this is kind of a straight flute. It's a twisted flute. These are very strong. Probably gonna have to drill it out a little bit bigger. That doesn't work like that, you idiot. This is kind of awkward. Now let's drill her out a size bigger. I feel like we're making progress. So at 5/32, we're gonna bump it to a 3/16, yo. We're going 3/16. like butter. Drill it out like butter. Okay, there's that. Wish I could hammer this a little easier. This one we have to get out because we don't have it drilled perfect. At least I don't think that we do. Let's get the old adjustable nut. Can't use that word. It's a bad word. The nut messer upper, we'll call it. Ah, crap, that's right. This one we can't really go backwards with, can we? All right, well, let's just keep trying it because it did crack it there. Yeah, this style we can't really go backwards with. And we can't really go forwards with either because of something. Let me try something else. I got another plan. We're going to use this is a straight flute extractor. Not a big fan of the twisties. I do have some twisted ones, but we're going to use this. Now these things are friggin' glass hard. You got to be real careful with these ones. Boy, that's got me nervous. These we can go both ways with. Now the twisty ones, and then we have a female spline nut that slides over this. It's kind of nice because we can get right down here on the end. We can go both ways. It's 2025, man. You can go both ways. Okay. So we got her broke and we got her doing that. No, we got her doing that little number right there. We'll just keep working it. And hopefully you can see why the left-handed drill bit would not work. Of course we don't. It's gonna get stuck on it. We're gonna end up doing something here. Of course we don't have a snap-on dealer anymore either. We don't have Mac, we don't have snap-on, we got nothing. We did have a Matco guy there briefly. And by briefly, I mean he never stopped in. He stopped to ask if he could stop in. I said, yeah, sure, man. But then I told him that we don't, that neither Josh nor I run a truck account. If we need something, we'll buy it, we'll pay for it. And we're not gonna buy something every week. I'm very honest with these people. I told him, I was like, dude, I've been doing this for almost 25 years. You can't expect me to come out and give you my whole paycheck every week. Not that I get a paycheck, but and then that was it. That was the last time we saw him. He never stopped in. He stops at my brother's shop, but he don't stop here. So, like I say, I get it. They're out to make money. But as soon as you tell these tool vendors that you're not going to carry a truck account, then that's usually the last time you see them. So if you're stupid with your money, they will stop in and see you every week. But we're home free. 716, the 716. That's what size socket we need. You guys are not going to be very proud of me how this one drilled through. This one's going to be a tiny bit on the offset side. I do have a template we could use, or not really a template, but at least a guide that I could bolt to the head from one bolt hole to the next. But being that we got the first one out, I had some pretty good hopes that this one was going to come out as well. And let's see how we did. Nailed it. She's dead in the middle. What's up, Miss O? Just getting ready to come and do my strut. The strut I do when I'm successful.
Uh-huh.
I was just gonna come in and do it. Look at that one, folks. Tiny bit off to the side. Couple thou.
Those gloves are really working for
Hey
you.
man, listen. We just got all the broken bolts out. You should be like, wow, you're an amazing husband.
I already knew you could do that.
Oh, well, there's other things I can do. Let me pause this camera. That one there does not have the trash extractor, but so that's what that one looks like. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but okay. Yeehaw! We'll throw that down with the other broken ones. This is what the straight fluties look like. These, and like I say, I do enjoy a straight flute. You know, and then it has that. So this is kind of an old school set here. And they have little guides and stuff you can do. We don't use any of that. We just use the little stuff that comes with it. And like I say, generally speaking, if I use them once, I just replace them. Just because you get a little twist in them, you get a little fatigue in them. The last thing you want to do is break that motor trigger off. Now I don't know who makes it. It does have a snap-on logo on it, but it's probably made by, you know, Mayhew or somebody, or it's Blue Point 1020. Like I say, I doubt that they made it themselves. And then these are the Mac ones. This is the one we used with success on the first one. Again, don't know who makes them for Mac. I'm certain they don't make their own. It's part of their RBRT series, rounded bolt, rounded something or other. I don't know if they still make them, so they're there. And then the other one that we were using, I've got probably every type of extractor you can imagine. That's these ones here. It's an old snap-on set. These here you'll see all kinds of places. They have a little twist to them. Now, they work good in one direction. However, you saw when we went backwards, it wanted to spit itself out. So there's that there. And as I mentioned, the twisty ones, we gotta dig deep for those because I don't use these very often. These are fine like in pipe plugs and stuff. You know, the old twist style. These do work, but the problem is you start to tighten them to remove the broken fastener. You got a hole through it, and these just want to drive in and spread. And I guess, I'm not a metallurgist, don't know much about this, but I would assume if that's trying to drive into the hole and push it open, it's kind of counterproductive for what we're trying to do, trying to keep the stresses from going out against threads. So that's it. Those are my main extraction tools. Now, let's get back to the main attraction. And this is a drill guide you can use, and this is pretty handy. So I do have one specific for the Ford 3 valves because they're kind of a pisser to get into. You do a lot of them just by feel, but the part number is a 69er82 Delta Golf Sierra. It's made by OTC, so drill guide system is what the DGS stands for. So 69er82 drill guide system. So there's that. This is pretty handy, okay? If you don't have a specific one for a manifold, you can utilize this, and basically it's just a bar, and you would bolt it to one of the manifold bolts, and then over here has a sliding set of dies that go in there with different size arbors that you can screw into them and line it right up over the hole, and then it doesn't keep you dead in the middle of the hole, but it keeps you at the correct angle of the dangle. Like this one was 6.69 degrees, as we mentioned. We just eyeballed it and we got her. But if we were worried that we couldn't, or it's in a kind of a, you know, pisser of a spot to see, put this on there. 1/8 inch bit holds it nice and straight, at least gets you started and gives you a little bit of hope. So just in case you want to see that, that's a good one to have. If you don't have anything, like let's say for example like this here manifold drill template, this is for the 2 valve and 3 valves. You know, this is very specific on the Fords. You know, you put your drill adapter up there, it has all the little arbor you stick on, and you know, it gets you punching a hole straight, specific for the 4.654 and the 6.8. That's all it fits. That universal one is pretty handy. Why? Because it fits everything. And the only thing we're usually drilling are manifold bolts. So I'm just going through scraping off all the corrosion using the carbide scraper, nice and flat. Still waiting on the gasket, but I want to make sure everything's super flat here. Keep your carbide scraper nice and flat because it will curl this head up. It's pretty soft. She's a softie. I think we did a good job. My dad was pretty legendary at getting out broken bolts. We did a lot of them. I don't know. I've done a lot of them growing up. I mean, I don't know how many. I don't want to guess, but he was really good. He could get broken bolts out. He was better than I am. I have a 100% success rate at my shop so far over the 20 years I've been here. I've never been able to not get one out. I mean, I've been able to not get them out, but then, you know, I've had, you know, good success at drilling them straight, and then, you know, if you have to put a time cert in it or whatever, or, you know, whatever, every job's different. I have denied jobs now. If, you know, you bring in your car and I look under there and, you know, rust doesn't scare me, but if you and your buddy been in there and this thing's all threaded rod and pop rivets and duct tape and every bolt's freaking cross threaded, then, you know, I don't want anything to do with those. But you know, she's still factory and they're all broke off. Usually we can get them out, or if we can't get them out, just like I say, try to make sure you drill nice and straight. That way, if you do have to oversize it, use a helicoil or a time cert, you know, you're on the right angle. So that's it. Yeah, my dad was great with a torch. You know, we do like the cat heads and stuff. Of course, they always break, but you know, if it's a cast iron head, you can take and blow the middle right out of that bolt with a torch and not touch the head if you're good. Aluminium, you can't do that on, but. Hi, kitty. What's the matter? Huh? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's your head? Huh? Oh, I go see my mommy. That's a good baby. Yeah, it's a good little kitty. Well, we're waiting for parts. These are the bits that I like to use as well on manifolds. Now these are the stubbies. I don't think they call them jobbers, right? Jobbers are the long ones, yeah. Well, they're stubbies. Cobalts. Again, these are the Mac Tools ones. Cobalt grade 21 piece, short length, 16th to 3/8 is all they go. These are super handy. Always liked Mac drill bits. Their cobalts have always been really good. They do warranty them, maybe 1/4 inch and up or something. I don't recall, but they're good, so it doesn't matter. And then these are the Astro ones. Now the Astro Hyperstep bits, I have those in cobalt as well, and those are great. Those are phenomenal bits. They don't work good in situations like this though. In this situation, I want your standard, I don't remember what angle that is, 110 degree, whatever it is. I want a standard, you know, drill bit for a situation like this. The Hyper Steps go right to a fine point, and they work great for just about every other application. Once I have my pilot hole drilled, I can use the Hyper Steps. They'll work great. You know, they cut good. I have those in cobalt and they're a fantastic bit, but where we use, like say we went in there with that 21/64, you know, and we rounded off, you know, the face of this initially, you know, guiding the hole in the head, guiding us, and you know, giving that a little bit of curve to kind of set our center point so we don't have to prick it or anything like that. You know, your Hyperstep bit won't work. It's just a matter of fact. So you know, things have different jobs. That's it. It's about all the time I can stall. We just gotta wait for parts now. We have our brand new gasket from Chevrolet. There's your part number on that. Your classic 126570903. Country of origin, USA. And we have the seal here, fresh from Mexico, 15077362. That is also fresh from Chevrolet. The manifold we do not need. Well, that's kind of a pain in the ass. By that I mean you got to get out your knife. Yeah, whatever, we'll leave a little piece of Mexico on there. I'll take out the OG, we'll keep that just in case. Stick that seal in there. So that's the original. You can reuse them if you want, but making a YouTube video, we don't want people to go bananas. Don't go bananas, people. We will stick our manifold right here. without a gasket. Line up our bolt holes now. Don't just drop that sucker. You'll freaking break those spark plugs. Well, come on, just stay right there, fella. Grab one bolt. Now the manifold gasket, before everybody says, it's upside down, you're an idiot, hope you die. Arrow pointing down, and it says down. If you put it this way, it even says down. Exhaust manifold down. Okay, so it goes on very particular way. Very particular. Stick one bolt in there. We just want to get one bolt started. We have one bolt started, and the bolts, they have a part number as well from Chevy. 115-46600. You're going to need 5 of those. They have some kind of Loctite or something on them from the factory. I don't know what's on them. Something's on there. So this was fun, you know, our first time doing a 6.6. I guess the job went as expected. At least I think so. So what they did, this bolt here on this end, this shield's kind of in the way. So we're going to pull the manifold back a wee bit if we can. We can't because I've already threaded the bolts in too far. Plus we're in the manifold, we're in the pipe. Why do you do stuff like this, GM? You know this crap's gonna break, it's always broke. At least make it easy on us guys. Use guys. Let's see. Helped a friend there. Father's Day. He's got a shop and he's working on a 18 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier. Communication problem. The can was running in single wire mode and helping him troubleshoot that. And, you know, we got that all done, but just the sheer amount of modules on it. I mean, seat belt modules and module after module after module after module. Just, we've hit the stupid level. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of the stuff, it was just nonsense, but it was fine. You know, it was a broken wire. It was actually a broken wire about 8 inches from the suspension module. It was a chassis expansion bus that was down. Well, it wasn't down. It was still working. It just had 70 some codes, but easy fix. But you know, when we're developing the plan and you know, looking at the data network and stuff, just to see the sheer number of computers, and that thing's old, you know, 2018. I mean, it's damn near junk, but it's just it ain't getting any better, folks. As a matter of fact, it's getting stupider. Just a little discouraging. I don't know. It's just, you know, at what point have we surpassed the stupid point? I mean, we've already surpassed the stupid point. Don't get me wrong, but at what point is it going to end? I guess that's what I'm wondering. You know, when are we going to stop with this stupidity? When do these cars become unaffordable? I mean, they already are. I mean, our dealership down there now has a whole row of them that are over 100 grand a piece, and they're still freaking GMs. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still, you know, not that, you know, Chevys are junk, but it's just, you know, $100,000. Nobody around here can afford that. Chevy Suburban for $110,000, $120,000 or some stupid thing sitting down at Wilbert's in 14 years. Yep, I don't know. I wish I had that kind of money to just piss away. It wouldn't be on a Chevrolet though, I'll tell you that. I'd have me a brand new tractor or something. But even at that, you know, even equipment is just hitting a stupid level. You know, with all this emissions crap, which unfortunately has taken the pre-emission stuff, so pre-2013, you know, I mean, a long time ago, this isn't nothing new, but it drove the price of that like right through, that's right through the roof. You know, you have a good piece of equipment that's pre-emissions, you can name your price. I'm gonna put these nuts right back here, and then we'll obviously get the torque spec for that. And you're wondering about the poly loom here that I burned up. That's just on the oil dipstick, so calm down, it's not gonna hurt anything. I don't even know why they have it on there. It seems kind of bizarre, right? To have a piece of poly loom going over the engine oil dipstick. I wonder why that is. I don't know. They used to have it snaking through the manifold. Now it runs in front of the manifold and has poly loom on it. I don't know. So these are just a whisper over finger tight, honestly. 26 foot-pounds, so we just barely tighten them up there with the 1/4 inch drive, and that's that. What I'll do is I'll torque them here on camera for you, and then I'll shut the camera off and I'll snug them up a little more. Or, did I just say it out loud? Stand by. So we're putting a little bit of dielectric grease in our spark plug boots here. You've got to pull the little metal cover off. And then put that on there. Speaking of super hot women, what's up, Miss O? I'm just talking about you. What? Got this job all done.
Of course. Your favorite saying.
What's that?
Of course.
Don't say that. That is such a millennial freaking thing to say. I don't know what to say. Pisses me
I don't
off.
even notice it until you were like.
Because it's annoying, man. It's
you
annoying.
pointed it out.
When you say thank you, and then says something saying you're welcome, this kid's like, of course, man, of course.
They don't say man. They say of course.
Of course, bruh. Of course. Don't say of course. Just say you're welcome.
Oh.
Thank you and you're welcome. None of this.
petty.
It's not petty.
Petty.
It's not petty. It's just annoying. The kids
You
are
can say
annoying.
of course, yeah.
You can't say of course. You don't say yep.
Problem.
You don't say yep. If somebody says thank you, you don't say yep. You say
No
you're
problem.
welcome. You're welcome.
Anytime. My pleasure.
Wow.
There's lots of things you can say that are appropriate, including of course.
The most appropriate is that you're welcome. You're welcome.
That's the most proper, not necessarily appropriate.
Okay. Sounds good, boys. Sounds good, looks good. No belt noise, no manifold noise. He's pretty ticky. Good as new. That's it, folks. Fixing the broken bolts on your Chevrolet. It's just like the older ones. So 99 to current, I guess it would be. Chevy, kind of do them all the same way, through the fender liner. Piece of cake, easy peasy, in and out. These ones we drilled. You can do all kinds of methods. If they were flush, we would have welded, you know, flat washer, fried on there, stick a nut, fried on there. Move on with life. When they're recessed like that, you know, you can get in there with the welder. It has its benefits, you know, as far as, you know, put heat directly onto it. It has some disadvantages. You know, we've showed, you know, multiple, you know, we've used the welder a lot. We've done drilling. You really got to kind of pick your poison, if you will. Not to sound cliche, but you've got to pick what you want to do based on the scenario. These being recessed more than 2 threads, you know, I elected to do it this way because generally speaking, these Chevys, the bolts come out of. Now, these are the hardest bolts I've extracted out of a Chevrolet. Typically, these are one of the few candidates that are good for the left-handed drill bit, the magical left-handed drill bit, which I have. I could show them to you, but you're going to have to believe me. Just believe me, I get them and show you. Like I say, the way the left-handed drill bit works is it snags. It doesn't do anything other than drill backwards, and the bolt has to be loose. Now people are going to say, well, no, Eric, you're wrong. It's because the heat's generated from the friction of the bit, and, you know, from cutting, which is true. It does add a little bit of heat to it, not a ton. Remember, the aluminum is it just is a gigantic heat sink. You can literally spray that thing with oxygen and acetylene, and then 10 seconds later, put your hand right on it, and it's cold. That's why I don't know why heating the head of the bolt, like I say, it seems counterintuitive to what we would think, why it works. I don't know. I assume it's because of whatever they use for the Loctite. It breaks that bond. That's always my thought, because otherwise it really shouldn't do anything. You know, that bolt is stone cold once we take it out, except for the head of it. You know, the threaded portion of it's usually pretty cold. So, but like I say, the Chevys are usually a good candidate for the left-handed bit, because oftentimes if you drill it, you're going in with a right-handed bit, zoop, you know, you zipper to the bottom of the hole. Which isn't a big deal, because you at that point can just take your left-handed bit if you want, or anything. Usually at that point you're into it 1/8 of an inch. You reach in there with a little extractor and just spin it out, or a pocket screwdriver or something. So that's that. I'm not a huge advocate of left-handed bits. They're expensive. You know, I have them, like I say, I have them in cobalt. They're expensive. They're not in every size. At least the set I have, it's a, you know, skip set, maybe like 8 or 10 sizes in it. And, you know, they're difficult to sharpen. You know, I've got the adapter for our drill doctor, but I don't know, just use a right-handed bit and get after it. That's why I say, get after it. Why don't you guys get after it in the comment section? That's enough talking. That's a stupid video. Insta, Facebook, you know where we're at. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.